Inflation report for July matched expectations, and a solid batch of tech earnings are giving markets a boost. Inflation declined slightly last month as the cost of gas and groceries fell, though prices still rose more quickly than before the Iranian war. Consumer prices increasing 3.4% in July from a year ago. That is down slightly from June. On a monthly basis, prices rose just 0.1%. Excluding volatile food and energy categories, core inflation slipped to 2.5% in July from a year ago and rose 0.2% from June to July. AI infrastructure stocks are surging on strong earnings. CoreWeave stock is up 19%. The cloud computing company reported a smaller loss and higher revenue than analysts were expecting for the second quarter. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
You're probably listening to this in your car, so let me ask you. Would you drive without insurance? Of course not. So why is your retirement portfolio unprotected? Gold is portfolio insurance. It helps de-risk your savings when markets get unpredictable. Noble Gold Investments has helped thousands of Americans do exactly that, with no high-pressure sales and thousands of 5-star reviews. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals involves risk. Consult with your tax or financial professional before making any investment decisions.
This is Talk Radio, WCZN.
1819 News.
A Montgomery County Circuit Judge has now been referred to the Alabama Attorney General's office for possible legal action. The move comes after the Alabama Ethics Commission ruled this past February that Montgomery County Circuit Judge Tiffany McCord violated the Alabama Ethics Act. The details of those violations have not been revealed. Governor Ivey appointed McCord to the judicial bench in Montgomery back in April of last year after Judge Johnny Hardwick retired. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Did you know that 70% of people experience a potentially traumatic event in their lifetime, and that 6 out of every 100 adults face PTSD every day? Help us bring hope to these survivors by signing up for your Alabama Distinctive PTSD Awareness License Plate today. The great thing is you can sign up no matter when your current plate renews, and the first year is complimentary. All you need is your VIN number on hand. Drive awareness, drive hope, and customize your plate today at atease.org. That's ATEASE.org.
The City Council of Homewood has approved the allocation of $25,000 to help residents relocate from an apartment complex. The city identified health and safety problems at the park at Buckingham Apartments. This determination affects 400 residents, including hundreds of students who go to Homewood City schools. The money will be used to help with moving expenses and the first month deposit for those who have decided to leave those apartments. More information is coming out regarding a Jefferson County inmate who died in his cell. 53-year-old Gregory Johnson of Moody died on August 9th. An autopsy did not find evidence of foul play. Lab results will provide more information on his cause of death. Johnson had been in custody since June of last year. He was facing charges for kidnapping a minor and sexual abuse of a child under the age of 12. Johnson was already on the state's sex offender registry based off of a conviction that occurred in 2019. I'm Andrea Tyson.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This is Talk Radio, WCZN.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. I know your accident is the real thing, and they happen to real people.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. There's a lot of talk right now about bigger, but when you've had a wreck, is bigger better?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. Do you want to be just a case number?
With offices in Huntsville and Scottsboro, we take the time to help.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Welcome to Southern Wagyu Steakhouse and Meat Market in Huntsville. From hand-cut premium steaks and chef-crafted Southern favorites to phenomenal made-from-scratch desserts and restaurant-quality meats you can take home. Every meal is made with passion and served with genuine Southern hospitality. Join us for lunch or dinner. Attend a monthly 5-course supper club or stop by to stock up your grill. You'll see that we deliver excellence from prep to plate. Southern Wagyu Steakhouse and Meat Market, corner of Highway 72 East and Jordan Road. Come taste the difference.
Lynn Layton Automotive Group is a proud sponsor of high school sports in the Tennessee Valley. At Lynn Layton, we shoot you straight with no hidden dock fees just for doing your paperwork. These dock fees are often hidden in your purchase and can run as high as $700 or $800, but you won't see that at Lynn Layton. And Lynn Layton has all the major brands conveniently located in Decatur on and around the Beltline. Trust us, it's worth the short ride to get a great deal with Lynn Layton Automotive Group.
Looking for your next great round of golf? Take the short drive from the Tennessee Valley to the Bear Trace at Tim's Ford in Winchester. This spectacular Jack Nicklaus designed 18-hole course sits along scenic Tim's Ford Lake, featuring rolling fairways, challenging greens, and lake views that'll make the trip well worth it. Whether you're planning a weekly foursome, a company outing, or just sneaking in around, Bear Trace offers one of the best public golf experiences in the region. Book your tee time today at tnstateparks.com and play the Bear Trace at Tim's Ford.
Chase for the playoffs continues for your first place Rocket City Trash Pandas, August 18th through the 23rd. Promotions include a bobblehead giveaway on the 20th, Huntsville Stars Night on the 21st, and a beer stein giveaway for Oktoberfest on the 22nd. Get your tickets now by visiting tptix.com. That's tptix.com.
Let's rock it. Your Fox 54 update.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Incredibly warm this afternoon. A mostly to partly sunny sky. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 90s. Heat indices anywhere between 105 and 108. Very small opportunities for rain through the course of the afternoon. We only drop into the mid 70s as we head into the overnight. Much the same for your Thursday. A mostly to partly sunny sky. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 90s. Heat indices above 105.
Your Fox 54 forecast. Only on Talk Radio WZZN. This is The Point with Bill Crawford on Talk Radio WZZN. A compassionate, conservative, reasoned voice. Not just for today's headlines, but for issues that matter to you. Perspective from a distinguished career of service in the U.S. Army. Courage from hours in the pilot seat of a military helicopter in war and in peace. Knowledge of cultures from around the world. Experience from a lifetime of service to America. What matters to you, from the dinner table to the halls of power. Conservative, compassionate, reason. That's The Point.
Welcome, everyone. It is today, Wednesday, August 12th, and it is a hot one indeed as you're here with us on The Point with Bill Crawford on Talk Radio WZZN, along with producer extraordinaire Brian Temple.
What's up, y'all?
And that's Brian right there checking in with us. It is 91 degrees outside today. We are currently under a heat advisory. Feels like it's about 105 out there, and it's every bit of that without a doubt. But it is Hump Day, and we're glad you took a little bit of your time today to be with us on this Hump Day. As per normal on Wednesday, we're going to have Skip Vaughn with the Redstone Rocket, and then our in-studio guest is going to be at about 3:20, Mr. Aaron Thomas, who's running for District 10 as a state representative, and he also is the owner of 4 Donato's Pizza restaurants here in town. So we're going to talk to him about all kinds of stuff. Looking forward to both of those discussions and hope you can join us. You can join us here either listening to us, watching us on the YouTube TV, seeing our little flag wave, or you can also listen to us on our website and give us a call at 256-382-0724. We'd be glad to talk to you about just about anything you want to talk about. And what we're going to talk about now is I noticed that on this day in history was the day that Mr. Thomas Edison invented the phonograph. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later towards the end of the show. But knowing how those words being saved for history was important, and also a little pet peeve of mine is knowing how some people just commonly butcher words in the English language and say the wrong thing, and how I'm supposed to be, both Brian and I, we're supposed to be, I guess, words kind of people. That's why we're on the radio. We're supposed to speak the King's English correctly. So it just made me think, what are some of the words that people just routinely butcher and mispronounce that maybe they ought to be reminded there's a better and a correct way to do that. So I have a little list as I put on my grammarian hat, and we're going to do a little English 101 and talk about some of the words that Americans just routinely butcher, especially here in our neck of the woods. One that I will start with is pacifically. That does not mean the Pacific Ocean. That's what a lot of people use instead of saying specifically. They say pacifically speaking. Yet another word that often gets butchered that is a pet peeve of mine is a lot of people, instead of saying especially, they say especially. It's especially important, not especially important. And in fact, I heard that on a commercial on this station today. How about let's get another one? Supposedly. Supposedly is not how you say supposedly, but a lot of people do. And this is a word people use that is actually not even a word in the English language, but they use it all the time. And I'm sure you have heard it. The correct word is regardless. To say regardless what is happening, this is what's going to occur. Most people, however, say irregardless, and there is no word for irregardless at all. And one of the things we've talked about on this show, and probably we'll talk about it with Seth Burton pretty soon, is nuclear reactors. Down south, sometimes they're called nuclear reactors. We need to get with them nuclear, not nuclear reactors. And we also have Matt Curtis on the show from time to time to give us his take on the real estate industry. And Matt is a realtor. He is not a realtor, which some people say. He's a realtor. And on the other side of the station, here I'm looking right at their studio, we have our ESPN The Zone station, which I participate in too during football season with my Army football show, where we talk about athletes, not athletes, although some people say athletes, not athletes. And a lot of times when you have a little sick child and they don't feel that good or they have a sore throat, you go out and you get them some orange sherbet and ginger ale, not orange sherbet. Sherbet. And again, just sort of like especially, there's another way that people sort of botch that the phonics of that particular sound when they're saying et cetera. A lot of people say et cetera, not et cetera. Here's one of my favorite things that I've never understood this in the great land of the South where I grew up, and that is in the description of iced tea. There are two types of tea. There is sweet tea, and then there is unsweet tea. Why couldn't it just be sweet tea and regular tea? Regular tea, by definition, would be unsweet. Sort of the same concept applies to some people when they want to thaw out some frozen food. Well, you just thaw it out. You don't unthaw it. It's frozen. It doesn't have to be unthawed. Yet another one, and I hear this one all the time. Hey, I'm not perfect. I'm just mainly having some fun with this. But when a point is no longer debatable or valid, it is called a moot, M-O-O-T point, not a mute point.
Did you, I was taking a phone call there with someone. Did you cover intents and purposes?
No, but that's
because a lot of people will do intensive purposes.
Instead of
in all intents and purposes.
Instead of intensive purposes.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. And you see that finely polished person on your television reading the news to you. You'll be surprised how much coaching they need to be able to say the words in their dulcet tones correctly on your newscast. You'd be very surprised at the things that how that newscast started by sounding and how it ended up, and things that slipped through.
Well, what about
especially somebody on Channel 48?
Especially when they're talking about hyperbole instead of hyperbole.
I'm not touching that one. I'm not going near it.
Well,
I trust that man's signature. I ain't going near it.
Yeah, that's true. And also one other thing people say all the time is they say, we're going to that's going to whet my appetite. No, it can whet your appetite, not wet your appetite. So that's it.
Like sharpening, like a whetstone. It's not a W-E-T stone. It's a W-H-E-T stone. It's sharpening.
It's a whetstone. Yeah. So that is it for me.
For all intensive purposes.
For all intensive purposes, I'm especially proud to have been able to give this little grammar lesson today. And with that, let's go ahead before we hit the statute of limitations on time versus the statute of limitations.
Just real quick, and I'll go to break from here. I'm very, very grateful to my good friend Gordon Moat, who taught me how to say W on the radio. Not W, but W.
W.
And this was in the 80s, so he said, W is the president. W is how you say it on the radio.
There you go. Well, hey.
Be right back.
Back having fun.
You're listening to The Point with Bill Crawford on Talk Radio WZZN.
Bill Crawford here for the Regenesis Stem Cell Center, the place to go for golfers' elbow pain. Traditional treatments require significant time away from the golf course and often don't work. Dr. Charles Lee can treat golfers' elbow using platelet-rich plasma extracted from the patient's blood and get you back on the golf course after a 2-hour visit. Golfers' elbow can be permanently eliminated for a fixed price of $585. Golf season is here. Enjoy pain-free golf with just one visit to Regenesis.
Take it right to the edge with Donato's Pizza. That's right, with Donato's, they don't waste any space. And if you're going to put 100 slices of pepperoni on a pizza, you need to go edge to edge. And that provolone cheese is smoked and aged in Wisconsin. All of Donato's produce comes from right here in the Tennessee Valley as well. And Donato's is more than just pizza. Check out the subs, calzones, and wings as well. 2 locations in the Valley to serve you, in Madison on Madison Boulevard and in Huntsville on the South Parkway. Donato's Pizza.
We have been selling printer supplies for 50 years. Today, we've made it easier than ever to make sure our customers get the best price and the best support.
You can order supplies online with our guaranteed low prices, saving 40% and getting our award-winning on-site service for free.
There's no catch. Ask any of our customers. We want to be more than just a vendor. We want to be a partner in your success.
In the market for a new or used car? Look no further than Hyundai of Decatur. With a large inventory of new, used, and certified pre-owned Hyundai models, Greenway Hyundai of Decatur is here to service all of your Hyundai needs. Come visit our exceptional service department as well. With state-of-the-art facilities and a caring team of automotive professionals waiting to service your vehicle, make Hyundai of Decatur your #1 choice for all your automotive needs. Give them a call today at 256-274-0279 or visit them online at greenwayhyundaiofdecatur.com.
You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loaders from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best. And this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Thompson Tractor knows how much value you place on your customer satisfaction. It's how you build your business. It's also how we build ours. Since 1957, hardworking folks like you have counted on Thompson to provide the absolute best lineup of equipment in the industry, all backed by a customer service and product support team that time and again have proven to be second to none. It's all about maintaining peak performance. Always has been, always will be. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
This is Jen with The Haven, a private event space located downtown Huntsville. If you haven't been before, this is the perfect spot for your event. Whether it's Christmas, the holidays, birthdays, weddings, rehearsal dinners, you name it, I can provide that perfect event for you. We tailor everything just for your needs, from food to flowers to the band to drinks. You name it, we've got it. The Haven, located at Meridian Crossings, downtown Huntsville.
Welcome to Southern Wagyu Steakhouse and Meat Market in Huntsville. From hand-cut premium steaks and chef-crafted Southern favorites to phenomenal made-from-scratch desserts and restaurant-quality meats you can take home. Every meal is made with passion and served with genuine Southern hospitality. Join us for lunch or dinner. Attend a monthly 5-course supper club or stop by to stock up your grill. You'll see that we deliver excellence from prep to plate. Southern Wagyu Steakhouse and Meat Market, corner of Highway 72 East and Jordan Road. Come taste the difference.
Your home of the Rocket City Trash Pandas is Talk Radio WZZN.
Welcome back, everybody. This is The Point with Bill Crawford and producer Brian Temple. We're here with you today on Wednesday, August 12th on Talk Radio WZZN, and it's a hot one, and it looks like we're about to get those pesky little afternoon thunderstorms coming our way also. And as is our wont on Wednesday afternoons, we like to find out what is happening out on Redstone Arsenal from the man who reports on everything that's going on at Redstone Arsenal every week, and that is the Redstone Rockets editor of many, many years, Skip Vaughn. Skip, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Bill. How are you doing?
Hey, I could not be better. It's Wednesday, it's hump day, and we're getting closer and closer to hearing the thump of the foot against the pigskin. And I know as a sports guy, you're looking forward to that also.
I am. But, you know, I'm a year-round sports guy, so I'm okay with baseball, too, and I'm really enjoying what my Chicago Cubs are doing right now.
Well, they may be on a collision course with my Atlanta Braves somewhere in the playoffs, and if so, we may have to throw a few shekels on that, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So tell us what's happening out in the Rocket on our August 12th edition.
Well, our front page story today is Lieutenant General Chris Mohan. He's was the commander of Army Materiel Command. He retired after 40 years of service, so we hate to see him go. He's done a great job for the Army and Redstone Arsenal.
He has indeed been a great soldier, great warrior, and I thought it was pretty cool that his ceremonial flag was presented to him by his daughter, First Lieutenant Molly Mohan, and you had a great picture of that too. Really enjoyed seeing that. So he's off to the races, and they hadn't. I don't think his successor has been appointed yet.
No, you're correct. This was a retirement ceremony where he relinquished command, and the acting commander is Lieutenant General Gavin Lawrence, and so he'll assume that role as commander of Army Materiel Command, in addition to his duties as the Redstone Arsenal Senior Commander.
Well, Gavin Lawrence, just for our listeners, has been a guest on my Army football show a couple of times. He was a lineman for Army back in the day, a very good football player, and he's a great guy too. And I also noticed that your article about General Mohan, was written by Megan Gully, and Megan's husband Mike was my former office mate out at the Arsenal for a couple of years. So how about that?
Wow.
It's a small world.
A small world.
Well, what else is happening in the Arsenal on the 47 pages of the Rocket?
48 pages.
I know. I just said that on purpose.
Well, we had energy is the major theme this week. I mean, the Army and Tennessee Valley authorities signed an agreement to strengthen energy resilience and long-term power planning at Redstone Arsenal. There's a long-standing relationship that we have with TVA, and this the officials say this deal supports Redstone's growing missions, including U.S. Space Command, while also aiming to benefit the surrounding Tennessee Valley grid.
And, there is also a story. I don't recall where I read it. I don't think it was in the Rocket, but there is a potential that it's not a potential. Redstone Arsenal has been named as one of the 9 bases to possibly get a small nuclear reactor. Have you tracked that anywhere? Have you seen that reported?
Yes. In fact, it's in today's Redstone rocket where the Army said Redstone is among 9 installations on a short list for this Janus micro reactor program. But officials stressed that this effort is separate from that new pact that was signed last week between the Army and TVA. The Army said that the site selections for the Janus micro reactor program will be announced soon. But that's a separate thing. It's related in that the focus is energy resilience.
Well, I knew I read it somewhere, so I guess I read it in the Redstone Rocket. There's just so much in there, I can't keep it all straight. But there's one thing, if you will just bear with me for a moment and let me crow about this a little bit. There's on page 4 of the Rocket, there's a little thing which you can scan with your phone, and you can get new opportunities for CLP, continuous learning points, and those little devils, we had to get 80 of them a year when I was an engineer out there, and it just warmed my heart to realize when I saw that's something I will never have to scan again.
Good for you. Good for you.
Good for me. No more continuous learning points. You don't have to do that in your field, do you?
No. In my field, journalism, you get your journalism degree, and then you pretty much learn by doing it. And so years ago, I thought about maybe trying to pursue a master's, but really you learn more by actually writing and editing newspapers. So that's what I've done for the past 50 years.
Well, I think there's nothing like experience to do that, and I always wondered why I had to do continuous learning points and study things like the evolution of the U.S. flag and all this nonsense. But I saw an article on there that brought back old memories, and that was an article about I'm really not sure what you call them, the concrete bunkers that are located throughout Redstone. That was, I'll tell you what prompted that to go into the paper.
Well, we're continuing every week. We've got 85 years of Redstone Arsenal because this, of course, is the 85th anniversary of our beloved Redstone Arsenal, and igloos are an important part of that history. And I remember when I got here in June of 1980, my boss, Dave Harris, he gave me a little card, and it had a number on it. And this was an igloo number. And in the event of a nuclear attack, I was supposed to take my family to that igloo. I never tracked down what igloo that was, but I'll never forget that. And I carried that little card in my wallet for years. I wish I kept it because it's a historic thing now.
Well, my little igloo story is back in I guess it was 1990 when old Captain Crawford was roaming the grounds of Redstone Arsenal. I was working on a munitions program where we needed a storage facility, and my colonel told me to go find a vacant igloo. So I paired up with this guy who must have been 100 years old, and he had a ring of keys like a janitor. And we started driving around and opening up these igloos and looking. They didn't know what. At the time, they didn't really know what was in them. And we would open it up and look in it, and I saw stuff in there like munitions from World War II that were stored in there, just all kinds of crazy stuff. And we never did find one that was vacant, and I never saw the little old man again, and the colonel never asked me to do it again. But as soon as I saw that picture, I was going, wow, I know where those are.
Yes, it's still out here. It's Redstone Arsenal is getting old. We're 85 years, and we still have those igloos.
Yes, we do. So, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say it's a big part of our history.
It is indeed a big part of our history. So tell me some other cool stuff that's happening in the Redstone Rocket and on the Arsenal these days.
Well, last week, the Space Development Agency Director, G.P. Sandhu, he spoke to the National Space Club here in Huntsville, and he told them that the agency's mission is expanding as missile threats evolve, growing faster and harder to track. He says speeding up the acquisition process remains the biggest challenge, with a new technology tranche fielding every 2 years. And right now, the Space Development Agency has 63 satellites on orbit and expects war-fighting capability by 2027.
Well, I'll tell you this. One thing that you said is, as my grandmother would say, truer words have never been spoken, is the Army's acquisition process is painfully slow. Rarely do we get a new system fielded, and that is something that needs to be done. So if that's one of the things they're working on, more power to them. It does indeed need to happen. So that's a good story to report on because it's very prescient and very germane to what's going on today. What else is happening out there in the Arsenal? I see that picture of Mr. Sandhu right now, just looking at it. I know the Volks March, y'all are starting to promote that already.
Well, it happened last Saturday, fortunately before the rains hit. And so they drew their usual large crowd, and our staff member, Eric Schultz, was out there, and he took some great pictures. So we reported on it. It was another big success, and we look forward to doing that every year.
Well, it has been done every year for quite some time, and I was out of town this past weekend. Maybe that's why I missed that and goofed that up, but it always is well attended. A lot of people always show up, especially on a military base where a lot of people have spent time, myself included, in Germany, and that's a big thing over there is doing those Volks marches. Well, what happened in the world of sports that I know you're pretty attuned to around here?
Yeah, I'm looking out at these dark clouds, and I'm not liking this at all. I'm planning the Marshall Softball League. They're in their playoffs, and they're getting near the finals. And so there was a big game scheduled for this afternoon, and looking out there, I don't know if it's going to happen at 5 o'clock, but we're in the playoffs now, and so I'm hoping that we can get these semifinals in and the finals next week and move on to volleyball because the Marshall Space Flight Center, the National Volleyball League started this past Monday, as they play Mondays and Thursdays, and so I look forward to covering that also.
Well, are there any other sports leagues on the Arsenal nowadays? Is it just softball and volleyball? Is there a basketball league also? I doubt there's any kind of football thing going on.
No, there's no basketball. I remember right around the pandemic, Marshall did have a basketball league, but of course everything shut down that March in 2020, and so they never brought it back. And so Marshall, NASA, they don't have a basketball league, but they did start a flag football league, and they're already getting ready for that season too. And so they play over where the units used to play, the soldiers and Marines, right off of Patton Road. There's fields out there, and the goalposts are still there. And every time I go to that field, I get flashbacks to when I was covering unit level flag football, and it was always great. It was, these young athletes, they would play their hearts out. So I always look forward to covering their games. But Marshall, they do have a flag football league, and they just have a few teams, but it's always a lot of fun. Well,
flag football now, frankly, is really, it's taken off. you know it's an Olympic sport in the next Olympics, and that's going to be interesting. And actually, in the Olympics, they're going to allow some NFL players to be on the flag football team. So, yeah, that's cool. Hey, tell us. I noticed a story in here about potatoes with a purpose that's happening. I guess it's this Sunday. Are you tracking that, or is that just something that popped up? Well, something just can't pop up under your nose. It has to pop in the paper with your approval, I would think.
Okay. Well, tell me that one more time. Is it one of the advertising?
No, it's a story about potatoes with a purpose that's happening at the Orion on August 16th.
Okay. Yeah, that's
a fundraiser with the Kids to Love Foundation, isn't it?
Not certain.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that is part of our advertising supplement. So, to be honest, I didn't edit that portion, but it sounds like a great effort. I mean, there's a lot to do on the weekends. In fact, one of our staff members, Erin Elise Inyenda, she does a column every week about the happenings in Huntsville and the surrounding community, what people can do on the weekends, and that's a popular part of our paper every week.
Well, what are some of the? By the way, that barbecue thing, according to your story, that Lawlers and some other people are trying to get together, like Brian said, to do a fundraiser for Kids to Love.
Yeah, it's a partnership from Lawler's Barbecue and the Kids to Love Foundation, and they're going to have a big event at the Orion, I think, to make the largest number of stuffed baked potatoes served at one time or something like that. But it's all a fundraiser for the Kids Love Foundation. That's pretty close to my heart, so I've been tracking that one.
Right, and in fact, truth be told, I was at Lawler's, which is on my regular rotation as far as restaurants that I go to.
I knew you were a man of good taste.
And the manager there, she was asking me if I would be there, and I told her, I don't know, but I wished her well. But last night I was getting my stuffed baked potato, and she told me about that. So it sounds like a great event.
Well, tell us some more about some of the other stuff that's not in the advertisement section of the paper.
Okay. Well, one thing that is important for the community, Redstone Arsenal is phasing out its physical contractor badges. So contractors will be able to use their driver's license or paper pass for installation access instead. Of course, you still have to be an authorized member of Redstone. You can't just roll up with a driver's license and not be authorized to be on Redstone Arsenal. But we are doing away with physical contractor badges. And officials say this move is going to save money and also boost security. And in connection with that, the facial recognition lanes at gates 1 and 9 are now available as an alternative option.
Oh yeah, those work pretty well. Interestingly enough, when I go, I had my picture made with my glasses off, and when I go through with my glasses on, it doesn't recognize me, so I have to take them off. But it does work. Speaking of entering the base, I noticed that Oktoberfest is coming up next month. But that is a time where the restrictions, I think, are lifted, and you can come in through the gate and go right to the activity field. That
is correct. In fact, for that particular weekend, a big weekend for Redstone, the public, we definitely want the public to come out. And Gate 10, which is the Patton Road / Jordan Lane gate, that will be open for access. You still have to go through the guard station there, but that gate will be open, and we definitely want the public to come out. And that's going to be September. What are the dates? September 25th to 27th, that weekend. And it's the 29th annual Oktoberfest, and it's always a big event for Redstone Arsenal.
Well, if you've never been to that before, it's really worth going to, especially if you like these three things: music, German food, and German beer. If you like those things, that's the place to be, September 25th through the 27th. So, as is the favorite thing I like to do is to kind of talk to you.
It's coming.
You know it's coming. And
I know it's coming.
How did you decide upon the Pretenders as your featured musical column this week?
I happened to be listening to my my radio in my car, satellite radio, and they played the Pretenders song, and of course, after I heard it, it was in my head. It was one of those worms that gets into your head as far as a good song. And so I was thinking that for the Pretenders, they've had so many big hit songs that I really enjoy. Brass in Pocket, Back in the Chain Gang, and many others. And so I did a little research, and I saw where the Pretenders are, in fact, in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So they're a great group. And so it was no problem coming up with 10 songs to put on that list.
So are they still active band, do you know?
Yes, they're still touring, and they haven't broken up like some of my favorite groups have done. They're huge. They came out of Britain, England, and they're just, everything they came out with, all their music was gold. Literally, it was gold.
Hey, they are a good band, and also one of these days you're going to have to do a Doobie Brothers list because they're coming to town this fall. I don't know if you knew of that or not, but they are going to show up here.
Okay. Yeah, that's one of my favorites too.
I'm already looking forward to that one.
Yes, I had that CD in my car for the longest. So, yeah, I like the Doobie Brothers.
Well, I had CDs in my car for a long time too, but now I don't even have a way to play a CD, either in my car or in my house. I don't even think you can buy them anymore. But hey,
exactly.
The Pretenders are great. The Arsenal's great. We love having you on every week. And we look forward to talking to you next week with some more interesting stuff happening from the Redstone Rocket with editor Skip Vaughn.
Well, thank you, Bill. I've enjoyed it, man. And hopefully this rain will go away and we can cover some more softball tonight.
It's not going to go away. It's going to come, and then hopefully it'll go away, and at least they can play sometime later on. But thanks for dropping in with us today, Skip.
Thank you, Bill. It's always a pleasure, man. All
right, and that's Redstone Rocket editor Skip Vaughn, and we're going to go ahead and take a break and come right back and see what else we can find to talk about today.
Where to go, Ohio?
You're listening to The Point with Bill Crawford on Talk Radio WZZN.
Take it right to the edge with Donato's Pizza. That's right, with Donato's, they don't waste any space. And if you're going to put 100 slices of pepperoni on a pizza, you need to go edge to edge. And that provolone cheese is smoked and aged in Wisconsin. All of Donato's produce comes from right here in the Tennessee Valley as well. And Donato's is more than just pizza. Check out the subs, calzones, and wings as well. 2 locations in the valley to serve you, in Madison on Madison Boulevard and in Huntsville on the South Parkway. Donato's Pizza.
This is Bill Crawford, host of The Point on Talk Radio WZZN. I've recently had a stem cell procedure on my right knee from Dr. Charles Lee of Regenesis. Stem cells are harvested from your body and re-administered back into your body. This approach is painless, quick, and requires no lengthy rehab. My knee feels better already. Regenesis is located at 4025 Pepperwood Circle Southwest, Suite C, Huntsville, Alabama. Call 256-715-8193 or Google their website for more information.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Lynn Layton Automotive Group is a proud sponsor of high school sports in the Tennessee Valley. At Lynn Layton, we shoot you straight with no hidden dock fees just for doing your paperwork. These dock fees are often hidden in your purchase and can run as high as $700 or $800, but you won't see that at Lynn Layton. And Lynn Layton has all the major brands conveniently located in Decatur on and around the Beltline. Trust us, it's worth the short ride to get a great deal with Lynn Layton Automotive Group.
Lake Gunnersville Ace Hardware is your locally owned and operated hardware store. We're not just about numbers, we're about helping neighbors, because our Ace Hardware store is part of your community. We're committed to being the helpful place by offering our customers personal service, quality products, and a convenient shopping experience. As the helpful hardware folks in your neighborhood, we promise that helping you is the most important thing we have to do today. Stop by and visit Lake Gunnersville Ace Hardware today, 1536 Blunt Avenue in Gunnersville.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. I know your accident is the real thing, and they happen to real people.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. There's a lot of talk right now about bigger, but when you've had a wreck, is bigger better?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. Do you want to be just a case number?
With offices in Huntsville and Scottsboro, we take the time to help.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
Your Fox 54 update.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Incredibly warm this afternoon. A mostly to partly sunny sky. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 90s. Heat indices anywhere between 105 and 108. Very small opportunities for rain through the course of the afternoon. We only drop into the mid 70s as we head into the overnight. Much the same for your Thursday. A mostly to partly sunny sky. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 90s. Heat indices above 105.
Your Fox 54 forecast. Only on Talk Radio WZZN.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Talk Radio WZZN. That was Redstone Rocket editor Skip Vaughn with his 48 pages of chock full of information about Redstone Arsenal. You can go read the Rocket at redstonerocketonline.com, or you can pick one up at all kinds of locations here in our area. So back to the theme of words. Skip talked to us a bit about the words he edits, and we talked a little earlier about some words that get a little butchered sometimes in the English language. But what happened on this day in 1877 was really something that kind of changed history, though it didn't seem like it at the time, but it really, really did, because before that date, when people said something, the voice spoke it, and it disappeared the instant it was spoken. It could never be heard again. I mean, you could write it down. You could paint a portrait of these people as they were speaking it. You could save little mementos of things that you really thought related to that person. But you couldn't hear George Washington give an order. You could never hear Abraham Lincoln say the Gettysburg Address, because once a voice was gone, it was gone forever. Thomas Edison, however, who was one of the great inventors of modern history, had been working with many things that dealt with sound, telegraphs, telephones, things of that nature. And he knew that when people spoke, that the voice created vibrations in the air. And his idea was that there's probably some kind of way that those vibrations could be captured and possibly recorded, and more importantly, played back. Well, what Edison did was he sketched out the first design for a phonograph, which if you looked at it today, you would probably say, it doesn't look much like a phonograph to me. It was just a little rotating cylinder that was wrapped in tinfoil. And a person would speak into a mouthpiece, which would vibrate, and the vibration would cause a stylus to move and etch some lines into the rotating cylinder of tinfoil. And what happened, and this is where the magic came in, is that rotating cylinder and that little vibrating, moving stylus, actually, when you went back over that and rotated it again, it played back the voice. And that was the first phonograph. And Brian, I bet you know what the first words that were recorded were.
Well, it's easy because thanks to the folks at the Library of Congress, they've preserved a lot of these things. And yes, it was foil, but it was wrapped over wax.
Right.
And so that stuff's pretty volatile, and it breaks down until, it's just they're using the technology and the materials they had at the time. But thanks to the folks at the Library of Congress, they've saved a lot of these things.
Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go.
Sounds really noisy, sounds really bad, but by today's standards, but that was a huge jump in technology at the time. And we here, well over 100 years later, we know what Thomas Edison sounds like.
Absolutely. And think of what that has done. I mean, my gosh, how many times or how many voices can you record or recall from history? You can recall Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. You can recall Neil Armstrong saying his first words when he stepped on the moon. You can recall something like Franklin Delano Roosevelt's Day of Infamy speech, or John F. Kennedy saying, we ask not what you can give, your country can give to you, but ask what you can give to your country. That stuff didn't happen in the earliest part of this country. And now it's just an everyday part of life. In fact, we probably can't even imagine what life would be like if we weren't able to play sound back. And
my life, I'd still be digging holes for a living, I guess.
Well, I don't know what I would be doing for a living, but hey, that's it, folks. I just wanted to mention that. This is
what you did for a living. We can go back to Leonardo da Vinci.
That's right.
I just go back to Edison.
Da Vinci designed the first helicopter. So that's it. That's my little take on words and recordings today. And we're going to come back in a minute and wrap this up.
Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go.
You're listening to The
How did
Point with Bill Crawford on Talk Radio WZZN.
Bill Crawford here for the Regenesis Stem Cell Center, the place to go for golfers' elbow pain. Traditional treatments require significant time away from the golf course and often don't work. Dr. Charles Lee can treat golfers' elbow using platelet-rich plasma extracted from the patient's blood and get you back on the golf course after a 2-hour visit. Golfer's elbow can be permanently eliminated for a fixed price of $585. Golf season is here. Enjoy pain-free golf with just one visit to Regenesis.
Take it right to the edge with Donato's Pizza. That's right, with Donato's, they don't waste any space. And if you're going to put 100 slices of pepperoni on a pizza, you need to go edge to edge. And that provolone cheese is smoked and aged in Wisconsin. All of Donato's produce comes from right here in the Tennessee Valley as well. And Donato's is more than just pizza. Check out the subs, calzones, and wings as well. 2 locations in the valley to serve you, in Madison on Madison Boulevard and in Huntsville on the South Parkway. Donato's Pizza.
At the Huntsville Sports Commission, we do sports. The Rocket City is your destination for world-class sports in North Alabama. The Huntsville Sports Commission brings elite tournaments, championships, and other exciting athletic events to our city. From youth leagues to national championships, we're driving tourism, boosting local business, and building a stronger, more active community. When you team up with us, we'll worry about the details so you don't have to. We do sports.
This is Jen with The Haven, a private event space located downtown Huntsville. If you haven't been before, this is the perfect spot for your event. Whether it's Christmas, the holidays, birthdays, weddings, rehearsal dinners, you name it, I can provide that perfect event for you. We tailor everything just for your needs, from food to flowers to the band to drinks. You name it, we've got it. The Haven, located at Meridian Crossings, downtown Huntsville.
Welcome to Southern Wagyu Steakhouse and Meat Market in Huntsville. From hand-cut premium steaks and chef-crafted Southern favorites to phenomenal made-from-scratch desserts and restaurant-quality meats you can take home. Every meal is made with passion and served with genuine Southern hospitality. Join us for lunch or dinner. Attend a monthly 5-course supper club or stop by to stock up your grill. You'll see that we deliver excellence from prep to plate. Southern Wagyu Steakhouse and Meat Market, corner of Highway 72 East and Jordan Road. Come taste the difference.
The Orthopedic Center. It's in the name. TOC, the premier choice for all your orthopedic needs. With over 40 physicians and 20 centers of excellence, TOC is the name to trust for complete, expert orthopedic care. And that word center, we mean it. With more than a dozen locations across North Alabama and the Tennessee Valley, TOC is in your community whenever you need us. As the state's largest orthopedic practice, TOC is built on trust. Trust we've earned with every patient we serve. You can see that trust on the field, too. As the official sports medicine provider for the Huntsville Havoc, Huntsville City Football Club, Oakwood and Alabama A&M universities, thousands of athletes and coaches count on TOC to keep them in the game. From student athletes to unexpected injuries, our urgent ortho clinics offer prompt, expert care. No appointment necessary. So remember, when it comes to your health and mobility, trust the name that says it all. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Planning a barbecue for this football season? Well, don't forget Baumhauer's famous sauces to make it legendary. These popular sauces include traditional hot sauce, Thai sweet chili, Mojo, Jamaican jerk, and white barbecue. Stop by your nearest Baumhauer's today and pick up a few bottles of sauces or order them online at baumhauersauces.com. And since they have become so popular, Baumhauer's legendary sauces are now being offered in some of your favorite grocery stores across the state. Whether you're tailgating at the game or barbecuing at home, Baumhauer's sauces are bound to spice it up and make you the host or hostess with the mostest.
Your home of the Rocket City Trash Pandas is Talk Radio WZZN.
He's still a soldier. His blood runs red, white, and blue.
Welcome back, everybody. This is The Point with Bill Crawford, and we are certainly glad that you are with us today. We had Skip Vaughn on, and Skip is always one of my favorite guests because I've known him forever, and he knows what's happening out on the Arsenal. And I did just check the weather, and I know he was a little concerned about rain and lightning going to knock out some of his softball coverage. And my look at the weather right now, and again, I'm not Jordan Dressman, but it looks like to me, if you are, it's just hit or miss stuff. It's pop up. It's going to maybe be where you're at. And if even it is there, it's probably going to go by in just a little bit. So just be careful. Don't get caught out in the lightning out there. If you do see some thunder or lightning, just make sure you don't get out there in the middle of it, right?
Be smart.
Be smart. Be smarter than
Don't be the tallest thing around, and don't be next to the tallest thing around.
No, and certainly don't be in the water.
Right.
That's a kind of a statement of the blatantly obvious, but that is what you need to do. So keep an eye on the weather and be safe.
What's coming up next hour, Bill?
Next hour, we have an in-studio guest, and that is Mr. Aaron Thomas, who is going to talk to us about both his restaurant business and his run for House seat in District 10. And he's going to be in studio, and he'll be here in a little bit. Look forward to talking to him.
Fantastic.
All right, let's get out of here and take a break.
When we did, when Skip was here, went a little bit down memory lane. You hear, again, the Pretenders, My City Was Gone. My first real radio job, paid to be there, was working for WDNG in Anniston, and my first job was running the satellite show, The Rush Limbaugh Show, and he used this as his theme.
I thought I recognized that song.
Also, My City Was Gone is a title of a book about my hometown, Anniston, Alabama, and about just some of the chemical things that went on there with Monsanto was there and things like this. It's a good read. We're back in a minute on The Point with Bill Crawford.
Okay.
This is Talk Radio WZZN.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Favorite jeans, favorite shirt. Got Conecuh sausage and I'm firing it up. Yeah, everybody knows it's how I get my grill on. You can smell that flavor up and down the road. It's a little taste of heaven, and everybody knows it's how I get my grill on. Conecuh sausage. It's just a little taste of heaven.
HD 97.7.2, WZZN FM, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. Talk Radio, WZZN.
Stuart Varney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The major averages are trying to hold on to gains in afternoon trading, and government bond yields are retreating after inflation cooled modestly in July. Consumer prices increasing 3.4% year over year, which was down from June and in line with economists' expectations. On a monthly basis, consumer prices increased 0.1%. Today's report is critical data ahead of next month's Fed meeting, with investors divided on whether officials will hold rates steady or raise them by a quarter percentage point. Stocks tied to AI are among the biggest gainers today, following blockbuster earnings results from cloud computing company CoreWeave and server company Supermicro Computer. And shares of Wendy's are surging 15%, following a Financial Times report that said that activist investor Nelson Peltz's Trian Partners was preparing a bid to take the fast food chain private. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
You're probably listening to this in your car, so let me ask you, would you drive without insurance? Of course not. So why is your retirement portfolio unprotected? Gold is portfolio insurance. It helps de-risk your savings when markets get unpredictable. Noble Gold Investments has helped thousands of Americans do exactly that, with no high-pressure sales and thousands of 5-star reviews. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals involves risk. Consult with your tax or financial professional before making any investment decision.
This is Talk Radio, WZZN.
1819 News.
The Jackson County Belafonte nuclear plant could be getting back into creating nuclear energy. The Tennessee Valley Authority is currently in negotiations with GE Vernova Hitachi Nuclear Energy over a plan to bring in small modular reactors that will put forth the nuclear energy. TVA spokesman Scott Fielder told 1819 News that this is only one of multiple options currently being considered, and that no decision has been made yet on the best course of action in unleashing American energy. Congressman Dale Strong is a very strong proponent with the TVA implementing this nuclear energy at the plant that has been empty since 1988. Strong said that North Alabama is prepared to lead in a resurgence of American energy dominance. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Are you enjoying 1819 News? If so, consider joining 1819 News as a member. As a nonprofit news organization, we depend on the support of Alabamians like you. Memberships start out as little as $5 a month, and you'll get access to exclusive content only offered to our members. You'll be supporting independent journalism done by people who cherish Alabama values. Become a member today by visiting 1819news.com and clicking Become a Member. That's 1819news.com and click Become a Member today.
A Huntsville police officer is facing charges of soliciting a prostitute. Officer Justin Barnes was arrested this past Tuesday after an investigation was conducted by the Huntsville Police Department. Barnes has been placed on administrative leave pending legal proceedings. An Alabama insurance agent has been sentenced to 18 months in prison for falsifying claims. Jonathan Eubanks of Slocum will also be required to pay $30,000 in restitution. Federal prosecutors charged Eubanks with defrauding a federal crop insurance program by submitting forged signatures and fake documents for a Covington County farmer. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This is Talk Radio, WZZN.
Welcome to Southern Wagyu Steakhouse and Meat Market in Huntsville. From hand-cut premium steaks and chef-crafted Southern favorites to phenomenal made-from-scratch desserts and restaurant-quality meats you can take home. Every meal is made with passion and served with genuine Southern hospitality. Join us for lunch or dinner. Attend a monthly 5-course supper club or stop by to stock up your grill. You'll see that we deliver excellence from prep to plate. Southern Wagyu Steakhouse and Meat Market, corner of Highway 72 East and Jordan Road. Come taste the difference.
The Orthopedic Center. It's in the name. TOC, the premier choice for all your orthopedic needs. With over 40 physicians and 20 centers of excellence, TOC is the name to trust for complete, expert orthopedic care. And that word center, we mean it. With more than a dozen locations across North Alabama and the Tennessee Valley, TOC is in your community whenever you need us. As the state's largest orthopedic practice, TOC is built on trust. Trust we've earned with every patient we serve. You can see that trust on the field, too. As the official sports medicine provider for the Huntsville Havoc, Huntsville City Football Club, Oakwood and Alabama A&M universities, thousands of athletes and coaches count on TOC to keep them in the game. From student athletes to unexpected injuries, our urgent ortho clinics offer prompt, expert care. No appointment necessary. So remember, when it comes to your health and mobility, trust the name that says it all. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at All About Water. Crazy name, huh? Well, let me introduce you to them. All About Water is the top pond builder anywhere in the Tennessee Valley, and that includes remodeling or cleaning out existing ponds as well. They also have monthly maintenance plans for your pond. Don't have a pond? Well, how about a fountain or water feature for your property to bring that soothing sound of running water to your happy place? On the other hand, maybe you have water on your property that you don't want. Well, Ryan at All About Water is all about water, so he could take care of that as well. He has a background in fluid dynamics, and what that means is that he could take care of any water issue that you have. Finally, how about that irrigation system that you have or that you want? Well, they do installs and maintenance and repairs on those as well because they are all about water. Learn more at allaboutwaterllc.com. That's allaboutwaterllc.com.
Your Fox 54 update.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Incredibly warm this afternoon. A mostly to partly sunny sky. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 90s. Heat indices anywhere between 105 and 108. Very small opportunities for rain through the course of the afternoon. We only drop into the mid 70s as we head into the overnight. Much the same for your Thursday. A mostly to partly sunny sky. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 90s. Heat indices above 105.
Your Fox 54 forecast. Only on Talk Radio WZZN. This is The Point with Bill Crawford on Talk Radio WZZN. A compassionate, conservative, reasoned voice. Not just for today's headlines, but for issues that matter to you. Perspective from a distinguished career of service in the U.S. Army. Courage from hours in the pilot seat of a military helicopter in war and in peace. Knowledge of cultures from around the world. Experience from a lifetime of service to America. What matters to you, from the dinner table to the halls of power. Conservative, compassionate, reason. That's The Point.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Talk Radio WZZN, and this is hour number 2 of The Point with Bill Crawford. We are glad that you have decided to spend a little bit of your afternoon with us so you can hear our take on stuff, all kinds of stuff that's going on. Some of the stuff that's going on, we talked about this a bit yesterday, and it happened yesterday on August the 11th, where Alabama, not necessarily in our neck of the woods, but where Alabama had some special elections that were called due to the redistricting that was done earlier in the year. And I guess what I would have to say is it doesn't appear that a lot of people were really interested in coming out to vote in these special elections. By the way, they were mainly for congressional seats, and the way these elections work, even though they were primaries, there was no requirement to get 50% to avoid a runoff. Whoever won the election was who is going to go to the polls or who's going to go and be on the ballot on November 3rd. 40 counties were affected by these special elections. And drum roll, please. We had a voter turnout of 5.24%. In other words, approximately 94% of the people that were affected by these races decided they weren't important enough to vote on. Now, in all honesty, there were 4 Democratic primaries. 3 of them were not contested, so that may have been a little bit of a disincentive for some people to vote. But here's the results of what happened yesterday. In District 1, the Republican contested race was won by Jerry Carl with 74.7% of the votes. In District 2, in the Republican primary, Rhett Marks with 50.03% of the vote won. And in District 6, in the Republican contested primary, Gary Palmer won with 86.98% of the vote. And in the one Democratic contested primary, Maurice Mercer had 64.17% of the votes and won. And in District 7, which was also a contested Republican race, Amy Aiken had 73.37% of the votes. And I think it's a bit interesting that in each of those primaries, there wouldn't have been a runoff anyway, because everyone, even though one was just barely, everyone had over 50% of the vote. So those names that you heard were going to be added to the rolls on November 3rd, and we will see what happens when they go to vote, or when citizenry, hopefully more than 5.25%, go to vote. Some other stuff that's happening in the world today, again, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to observe a total solar eclipse that is happening today. And it's mainly Greenland, Iceland, and northern Spain. So you may get a little bit of a glimpse of an eclipse, but it's not the big one like we had a few years ago. Ukraine, we talked about Ukraine on the show the other day, and they have delivered some new peace proposals to the U.S. aiming to find a way to end the war with Russia. And we'll see what happens with that. That's a war that has been ongoing for quite some time. And I do believe next week I'm going to have a retired Army analyst named Paul Cruz who is going to come on, and that's his area of expertise. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what he says about that. And as always, what's happening on Wall Street? Well, they got their eyes pretty much on 2 main things. One is Iran, and the other is inflation. And inflation, the report just got released a little while ago. I think it's a quadrennial report on inflation, and it says that inflation did not increase. In fact, they said overall it went down from 3.5% to 3.4%. And I guess the news I would take away from that is, so what does that mean? I haven't noticed any prices going down anywhere lately. I certainly haven't noticed any prices going down in the grocery store or going down at the gasoline pump. In fact, it seems to me like they're still going up. So food prices did increase 0.1% in in July, but if you looked at my grocery bill and if you looked at my checkbook, I don't think I could tell you one bit of difference about grocery prices because of inflation. And now here in Alabama, we have the great and wonderful thing where we tax our groceries, and hopefully that is going to go away. But that's some of the news highlights. And, Brian, if we could take a little early break, our guest is here. I need to go let him in. So, folks, we'll be back in a little bit.
You're listening to The Point with Bill Crawford on Talk Radio WZZN.
Take it right to the edge with Donato's Pizza. That's right, with Donato's, they don't waste any space. And if you're going to put 100 slices of pepperoni on a pizza, you need to go edge to edge. And that provolone cheese is smoked and aged in Wisconsin. All of Donato's produce comes from right here in the Tennessee Valley as well. And Donato's is more than just pizza. Check out the subs, calzones, and wings as well. 2 locations in the valley to serve you, in Madison on Madison Boulevard and in Huntsville on the South Parkway. Donato's Pizza.
This is Bill Crawford, host of The Point on Talk Radio WZZN. I've recently had a stem cell procedure on my right knee from Dr. Charles Lee of Regenesis. Stem cells are harvested from your body and re-administered back into your body. This approach is painless, quick, and requires no lengthy rehab. My knee feels better already. Regenesis is located at 4025 Pepperwood Circle Southwest, Suite C, Huntsville, Alabama. Call 256-715-8193 or Google their website for more information.
Looking for your next great round of golf? Take the short drive from the Tennessee Valley to the Bear Trace at Tim's Ford in Winchester. This spectacular Jack Nicklaus designed 18-hole course sits along scenic Tim's Ford Lake, featuring rolling fairways, challenging greens, and lake views that'll make the trip well worth it. Whether you're planning a weekly foursome, a company outing, or just sneaking in a round, Bear Trace offers one of the best public golf experiences in the region. Book your tee time today at tnstateparks.com and play the Bear Trace at Tim's Ford.
In the market for a new or used car? Look no further than Hyundai of Decatur. With a large inventory of new, used, and certified pre-owned Hyundai models, Greenway Hyundai of Decatur is here to service all of your Hyundai needs. Come visit our exceptional service department as well. With state-of-the-art facilities and a caring team of automotive professionals waiting to service your vehicle, make Hyundai of Decatur your #1 choice for all your automotive needs. Give them a call today at 256-274-0279 or visit them online at greenwayhyundaiofdecatur.com.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
Lynn Layton Automotive Group is a proud sponsor of high school sports in the Tennessee Valley. At Lynn Layton, we shoot you straight with no hidden dock fees just for doing your paperwork. These dock fees are often hidden in your purchase and can run as high as $700 or $800, but you won't see that at Lynn Layton. And Lynn Layton has all the major brands conveniently located in Decatur on and around the Beltline. Trust us, it's worth the short ride to get a great deal with Lynn Layton Automotive Group.
Your home of the Rocket City Trash Pandas is Talk Radio WZZN.
Welcome back, everybody. This is The Point with Bill Crawford and producer Brian Temple, who, as always, does a great job of saying, hey, you knucklehead, you better put that headset on and get ready to get down to business.
I didn't say knucklehead.
Well, you should have.
But I'm glad my mic was off.
So we are here today, and we are talking with a person. I think this is your third guest appearance here on The Point with Bill Crawford, and that is Aaron Thomas, who's running for Alabama House District 10 against Democratic incumbent Representative Marilyn Lands. Aaron, first of all, thank you for coming today. Glad.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me again. It's always a lot of fun being on the show.
Well, it's always a lot of fun having you on the show. One thing is that you have the owner of one of my favorite places in town, and that is Donato's Pizza. And tell us a little bit, firstly, about your business career. You know, you're a successful business person, and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Sure, absolutely. Well, when people say that, you know, you're a successful business owner, really what that means is that you solve problems day in and day out.
Right.
There's never a moment where you really feel like you've made it. And so when somebody says, "Oh, you're successful," it's like, yeah, well, you weren't there at 3:00, yesterday morning when I was changing out a toilet flange. But so you get to do a lot of different things. But career-wise, I started off working for Donato's Pizza when I was 16 years old. And I kind of worked my way up from a dishwashing position to management, and then from management, eventually to become the general manager, and got some sweat equity in the business. And I had some absolutely fantastic business mentors that own the business. And you know, when it came time for them to retire, I became their golden parachute. And so, you know, it allowed me to purchase the first one, and we were able to take that and purchase the subsequent restaurants as well. So now I've got several different locations, and you know, quite a few employees to corral and make sure everybody's moving in the same direction.
Well, I know one time, just to reflect on the problem-solving aspect of that, yeah, you may not recall this, but the first time myself and our general manager, Tom Abraham, met with you at one of your stores, we had to interrupt the meeting because of a cheese emergency.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I'd forgotten about that.
I'm going, a cheese emergency, and you used technical terms to explain the cheese emergency, and Tom and I looked at each other and said, "This guy seems like he knows what he's talking about."
Well, I've been doing it more than half of my life. If I don't know what I'm talking about, then I've really missed the boat somewhere.
Well, just what I know Donato's, my favorite is the Hawaiian, because that's great. They actually make it like nobody else I've ever had before. But what are some of the specialties of Donato's Pizza?
Well, to start off with, you know, all of our cheese, it's a smoked and aged Wisconsin provolone. And so it's got a much lower water content and a higher, you know, milk culture content. And so when you have that smoked and aged, it gives it a really, really nice, bold flavor. Then on top of that, the pepperoni that we use, instead of just using a cheaper pork-based pepperoni, ours is actually cut with beef to make sure that it's a little bit leaner, and so you don't get quite the heavy grease content as well. So, you know, we do a lot of different things like that to make sure it's a premium product.
Well, you also do desserts, right?
Yep, we do. And, you know, we have, like, for instance, Oreo twist right now. That's something that the employees really enjoy, because we get, you know, like 25-pound cases of crushed up Oreo cookies. Ooh. And so you'd be surprised how many times you have some, you know, 16, 17-year-old kid in the back that's decided to make a lunch just out of crushed up Oreo cookies.
Well, you know, I actually am a big Oreo fan, and last week I had an epiphany at Publix, because now Publix has 0 sugar Oreos.
That sounds so wrong.
That sounds but you know what? They taste just like an Oreo.
Do they really?
Yeah, they're great. I was going, gosh, thank you, God, for bringing me 0 sugar Oreos. So,
no kidding. That's incredible.
No, it's true. And, you know, if you watch that, you will start, like I do, you'll start seeing how many things don't have sugar in them anymore if you take the time to look for them. So Donato's Pizza, tell our listeners where your locations are, so if they want to stop by.
Absolutely. So we have a couple locations on Redstone Arsenal, but then we also have one at 7500 South Memorial Parkway. And then we also have the one in Madison, that's 8000 Madison Boulevard in the public shopping center right behind Champy's Chicken.
Well, just out of curiosity, by the way, my place is the South Memorial Parkway. That's where I go.
Sure.
How is the Arsenal working out? Because I know the Arsenal has... they have issues with you're actually providing a service. I know in my former building, 5400, there was nothing there. So now y'all are out there. So
sure.
Are they working out well for you on the?
Yeah, they are. And let me just say, for me growing up overseas, my dad's a civil servant, and I've spent my entire life either living around military bases or on them. And so for me as an adult to be able to serve those who serve is an absolute honor and privilege, and I absolutely love it. The culture out there has been fantastic, and they're extremely supportive. So for me as a business owner to be able to combine not only the capitalism that I love, but also the ability to serve people who are making sure that our country is well defended and protected is an absolute privilege.
And thank you for that answer. That's a great answer. So one of the other things that I think our listeners should know about you is you are indeed a family man. Tell us a bit about your family.
Sure. So I'm happily married for 12 years. I'm one of the very few people that can honestly say I married the first girl I ever dated.
Wow.
And yeah. So
I can't say that. I can't say that.
I'll tell you what, it makes my life a lot easier. You know, there's not a whole lot of drama or anything like that. And so we've been married happily for 12 years, and we have two beautiful daughters. We have an 8-year-old and 5-year-old. And, you know, I absolutely love coming home at the end of a long day, because you will never get more of a boost than having two little girls look at you like you're Superman walking through the door. And it's just incredible.
Well, what are your family values? How does that let me digress for 1 second. Successful businessman, happily married, family man, and now something happened where you said, okay, I'm going to step into the mad world of politics. What was that impetus, that aha moment where you said, I need to do this?
Yeah, absolutely. To begin with, you know, when you're working in the restaurant industry, you are always surrounded by people who are working their first job, or people who maybe have, you know, criminal records, or folks that are just trying to make ends meet. And you realize that the decisions that you make as a business owner affect way more than just you and your family unit. And when you sit down and you take a look at payroll, you realize that you have, you know, 50, 60 families that are counting on you to make the right decisions at the right time, so that they can be able to provide for those that they care about and love. And so for me, I'd always voted and things like that. But once you have children, you realize that the decisions and the things that we're doing now, even if they don't necessarily tangibly impact people in the here and now, they absolutely impact the life that my daughters will have, the life of the children of the people that I work with. And we're only given a certain amount of time on this earth. And so there's a stewardship component there, where you have to leave the next generation better off than you had it. And, you know, one of the ways that that's done is through public service.
Well, now, as a person how many employees do you have, by the way?
I've got about 65 right now.
You got 65 people. They're counting on you for their livelihood.
Sure.
What kind of issues do you see? Obviously, all of these are citizens of North Alabama. What kind of issues do you see them facing that you think you can possibly help with as their representative in the 10th District?
Sure. Well, to begin with, everybody is suffering with the cost of living crisis here. You know, we've got kind of a 1-2 punch of not only increased inflation, but then also higher interest rates. And when you add both of those together, it's eaten away a lot of the discretionary income that people have. And so when you're really concerned about being able to pay rent and pay your credit card bill just because those two things fall on the same day, you know, those are real tangible concerns that people have. And the reality is that in House District 10, we absolutely need to have somebody who can work with the Republican supermajority to bring home the bacon for our district, whether that's education dollars, whether it's infrastructure dollars, whether it's doing things that, you know,
we can do as a state to help with the inflation, like eliminating some of the grocery taxes and things like that are unnecessary. So we absolutely have to have all hands on deck because we really are all in this together. And, you know, it's important that we have somebody who understands those issues and can problem solve down in Montgomery and work just as hard as the people up here deserve.
Speaking of House District 10, you know, I was just, before you came on board, I was talking a little bit about the elections yesterday and the turnout rate of those. Guess what? It was 5.24%.
Wow.
That's just absurd. But the people need to turn out in House District 10, but in order to do that, they need to know where House District 10 is. So
yeah,
a lot of people don't know what district they're in.
Well, to be fair, if you know exactly what House district you're in like the top 1%. If you can identify the district lines, you're either in state politics or you're the candidate himself. So most people
tax
don't.
Collector,
yeah,
right?
exactly. Well, House District 10 goes from County Line Road, that's the westernmost boundary, to South Memorial Parkway, and then 565 south to the Tennessee River. So it encompasses all of Redstone Arsenal, the Space and Rocket Center, Huntsville International Airport, and then there's a big stretch that goes up through the city of Madison proper, and that's basically impossible to describe because it looks like the district lines are, you know, somebody had a seizure when they were being drawn, but yeah.
Well, that is House District 10, and it sounds to me like essentially that's the heart of our area. That's the economic engine of Huntsville, Alabama, and Madison County.
Well, when you consider, you know, Madison County in particular, by the time you count secondary and tertiary business effects, we account for, you know, about 20% of the entire state's GDP.
Right.
And so we are absolutely critical to the success of the rest of the state. And what we have to be able to do is we have to have somebody down in Montgomery that can make the case with the Republican caucus as to why every dollar that they send up here for our roads, our infrastructure, our schools, all of those things are a good investment for the rest of the state of Alabama. And we absolutely need to have the seat back in order to do that, because the reality is until we get that seat back, we essentially don't have an adequate voice and vote with the Republicans down in Montgomery to bring the dollars up here where they need to go.
Well, now, I would have to say this. You know, I used to be in this game a little bit myself, and I know that a lot of people in Montgomery and a lot of people in other parts of the state, they would listen to an argument like that and they say that's a specious argument because you guys are up there with the goose that laid the golden egg. You have
Absolutely.
NASA, you have Redstone Arsenal, you have all this stuff going on. So why should we send more money to you guys? How would you answer that question?
Well, I think the key is in how you described it to begin with. You don't want to kill the goose that lays the golden egg, first of all. And secondly, the reason we have, like, for instance, the Javelin missile produced in Troy, Alabama, is because the companies that produce that already have a good established relationship with the state of Alabama through Madison County. And so there are a lot of secondary and tertiary businesses that are brought to the state because of the industry and the growth that we have up here in the north. And so we have to keep that going. Otherwise, it's going to have a detrimental effect for the rest of the state. You know, their road dollars are going to dry up. Their education dollars can dry up when we don't have the high tide that floats all boats coming from Madison County.
Well, now, one thing that's happening in Madison County, and you know this and I know this, is big business is coming not just to Madison County, but to North Alabama.
Absolutely.
Who would have thought in a million years that North Alabama would be the submarine capital of the world?
No kidding. No kidding.
Certainly not me. So the things are happening to make big business come here. And how important do you think that is? Do we have to have, you know, big business to begat small business?
Well, I think we have to have a good business ecosystem. You need small businesses to support larger businesses. You need a good ecosystem that includes restaurants, movie theaters, housing. All of those things need to work together in unison. And the reality is this: when we're talking about small business issues are infrastructure issues. You absolutely need to have that, because when you're talking about the next, you know, Northrop Grumman plant, the next Mazda, Toyota, whatever it is, what they're doing is they're bringing their business development consultants in, and they're taking a look at where are people going to live, Where are people going to put their children in school? What kind of infrastructure do they have? Do they have a whole bunch of traffic problems? And, the reality is that we're kind of being strangled by our success up here. We last summer we lost out on an FBI expansion for a training facility because of infrastructure issues. We had a railroad bridge that collapsed in South Huntsville. I guess that was last year. We have a lot of things that we have to focus on up here to make sure that we have a good path forward. And, they're saying that in the next 10 years, we're going to have 200,000 more families move here to North Alabama alone. And it takes us 10 years from the time a civil engineer puts pen to paper to when we can actually drive on those roads. And so we're way behind the 8 ball in a lot of areas, even though it doesn't seem like it.
Well, I know one of the things that's going on to help with that is some of the work on the Northern Beltline.
Oh, absolutely.
How important is that? And like my wife and I drove by there the other day, and she said, "Why is this so important?" And I gave an explanation that wasn't that good. So let me see if you can give me one.
Sure.
She said, "No, come on, man, you got to give me a little more than that." And so tell our listeners why the Northern Beltline in Huntsville is such an important project.
Sure. Well, the reality is that the larger your city grows, you need to have belts around the city to act as a bypass. Right now, everything essentially has to flow down 565. And a lot of the infrastructure that we have is just not built for it. So, for instance, the South Memorial Parkway 565 interchange.
Horrible.
Absolutely. I actually had a car that got totaled. I had reconstructive surgery on my right hand thanks to that interchange. The reality is when it was built, it was designed for 55,000 trips per day. Right now, there are over 250,000 trips taken on that same interchange, and it's not designed for it. And when you have a belt road, you have a lot more options as far as a bypass in order to get to different areas of the city without that being congested. The other thing that they want to do with, and I think Mayor Battle and the City Council here in Huntsville has done a fantastic job. What they're doing is they're making sure that we have a lot of alternate routes, bypasses that can be opened up to alleviate some of the traffic congestion. And Phil Riddick and I were having a conversation the other day. They're actually talking about using AI to change traffic lights to make sure that if there's an accident, let's say on Slaughter Road, that you have more preferable lights for bypasses to make sure that people can get home on time. And so they're doing a lot of really cool, exciting stuff. We just have a lot of progress to go still. That's all.
Changing those lights reminds me of the movie The Italian Job.
Sure.
But that's new. So the one more question on the bypass.
Absolutely.
Does it go all the way to I-65 or does it doesn't, does it?
I'm not sure about that. So
Okay.
I couldn't speak to that. I can talk to you about theory, but rule 1 in politics is don't say something that you're not sure of.
And well, rule number 1 in the radio business is don't ask something if you don't know the answer. So
there you go.
I violated my rule. You didn't violate yours. So how, like you alluded to a grocery tax that we should not have, which I firmly agree with that, but that is a revenue stream. And when that revenue stream goes away, something has to replace that. And I know if you look at the total tax package in Alabama, we've had a lot of things like if you look at our overall package versus Tennessee, we're still ahead, because of even though we have an income tax, we have lower property taxes, things of that nature. So what are some of the ways that you think you could creatively help reduce the tax burden on people and just not tax, just the overall living expense burden here in your district and the state?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a great question. To begin with, the state isn't the one that's responsible for the inflation. That resides solely with the federal government and how much money was printed. And the reality is in order for us to alleviate some of those cost of living issues that we have, school choice and the Choose Act was a fantastic option for a lot of lower income families. There are a lot of families that are lower income that I'm visiting with on the campaign trail that have been extraordinarily grateful for that. Then on top of that, you mentioned the grocery tax. If we want to be able to eliminate some of those taxes, one of the things that we have to do as a state government is we have to take a look at our budget and say, how much of this do we really need? Because the reality is that you and I and our families, we all have to sit down and have the same conversation with our family budgets in economic downtimes. The state government absolutely needs to be willing to do the same.
Unfortunately, nobody listens when I have that conversation. No, but I think you're right. I've had Rex Reynolds on the show before, and Rex has a lot to do with our state budget.
He does,
and to hear Rex tell it, Alabama's in good shape. And how much money do we really need? That is a question I don't know the answer to, but I think an analytical approach like that is a good way to go to head towards solving that problem. So you're elected and you're down there and you walk into your office and you sit down and there's a legal pad and a computer and you have pen in hand and you're going to write the first bill authored by Aaron Thomas. What would that be?
Sure. Well, I think there are a bunch of things that we can do. One of the things that I've noticed as an issue, I was visiting with a lot of school teachers that we have here in the area. We have education budgets that are tremendously earmarked. And so, for instance, when you hear about teachers that have to go and they have to buy supplies with their own money for their classroom, part of that is that the budget, in order for them to decorate their classrooms even, that has a specific allotment. And so if you have education budgets that are extremely earmarked, then when you don't spend enough money in one area, you can't use it in a separate area. And so some of these teachers were saying, I used the maximum amount for this area of my budget, whether it was curriculum or stationery or classroom decorations for the first year. But once I got the supplies, I never used it any of those other years. And so I just gave it back to the state. But then at the same time, they're desperately in need of funds over here. And I think we really need to be able to take a look at some things like that and remove some of those budgetary blockages that they have. I would say that's a really good place to start. I also think that there are a lot of things that we can do when it comes to finishing the grocery tax and just getting rid of it in a state that we really need to look at. So there are plenty of things that we can do. The next thing is we've also, again, we have to work with the Republican caucus to let them know, hey, we are having issues up here. And it might not seem like it now, but, roll the hands of time forward, 5 years even. Look at how much we grow and expand just in the last, couple months. Fast forward a couple years. We have a lot of work to do. And the last thing that I'll say, and this is probably one of the most critical things, we have got to take care of our veterans. The reality is that we have so many people who have moved to our community as a retirement and who have specifically chosen their last assignment here in Huntsville, and they've been a tremendous honor to us as a state and as a community by choosing to retire here. We need to make sure that as a state we're taking care of them. And some of those things are very basic, like, for instance, other states, when you go and you register a vehicle for the first time in the state, if you're a veteran, you'll actually get your first license plate, your first vehicle registration free. That's not the case in Alabama. And little things like that, it might not seem like much, but especially for our veterans, we absolutely need to serve those who have served.
Well, I can say this. You are talking to one of those people who did exactly that. And this is a good place for veterans. Alabama is a real veteran-friendly state, but we can certainly do a little more. Have you got a few more minutes if we take a break?
Sure,
okay.
Absolutely.
Well, Brian, let's go ahead and take a break, and we'll come back and continue our conversation with Aaron Thomas.
You're listening to The Point with Bill Crawford on Talk Radio WZZN.
Bill Crawford here for the Regenesis Stem Cell Center, the place to go for golfers' elbow pain. Traditional treatments require significant time away from the golf course and often don't work. Dr. Charles Lee can treat golfers' elbow using platelet-rich plasma extracted from the patient's blood and get you back on the golf course after a 2-hour visit. Golfers' elbow can be permanently eliminated for a fixed price of $585. Golf season is here. Enjoy pain-free golf with just one visit to Regenesis.
Take it right to the edge with Donato's Pizza. That's right, with Donato's, they don't waste any space. And if you're going to put 100 slices of pepperoni on a pizza, you need to go edge to edge. And that provolone cheese is smoked and aged in Wisconsin. All of Donato's produce comes from right here in the Tennessee Valley as well. And Donato's is more than just pizza. Check out the subs, calzones, and wings as well. 2 locations in the Valley to serve you, in Madison on Madison Boulevard and in Huntsville on the South Parkway. Donato's Pizza.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a 5th-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10-plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
Lake Gunnersville Ace Hardware is your locally owned and operated hardware store. We're not just about numbers, we're about helping neighbors, because our Ace Hardware store is part of your community. We're committed to being the helpful place by offering our customers personal service, quality products, and a convenient shopping experience. As the helpful hardware folks in your neighborhood, we promise that helping you is the most important thing we have to do today. Stop by and visit Lake Gunnersville Ace Hardware today, 1536 Blunt Avenue in Gunnersville. By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
When a team sticks together, it shows in the way they work and the way they treat you.
We don't just hire great people, they stay. On average, our managers have been with us over 15 years and company-wide turnover is under 3%.
It's a culture built on integrity and heart.
When you call, you get someone who knows your name, understands your business, and is invested in your success.
And that means service you can count on every time.
Your Fox 54 update.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Incredibly warm this afternoon. A mostly to partly sunny sky. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 90s. Heat indices anywhere between 105 and 108. Very small opportunities for rain through the course of the afternoon. We only drop into the mid 70s as we head into the overnight. Much the same for your Thursday. A mostly to partly sunny sky. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 90s. Heat indices above 105.
Your Fox 54 forecast. Only on Talk Radio WZZN.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Talk Radio WZZN, and this is The Point with Bill Crawford. We're visiting today with a very much intelligent, successful businessman who is also a candidate for House of Representatives, state of Alabama in District 10, and that is Aaron Thomas. Aaron, enjoying the conversation today.
Yeah, absolutely. Likewise. It's great to be in the air conditioning for a little while.
Well, it is, and that's Brian and I often talk about that. Is we're here in the sound cave, as I call it, and then we go outside and go, I wonder what's happened. Is it rained? Is it hot? What's going on? So, one thing I always like to talk to people about when we're talking to them about their venture into politics is, I know I've met your family, your 2 little girls. Sure. How are you going to balance the demands of being a businessman and a family man with the demands of being a state representative?
That's another great question. I'm very, very blessed in that Amy, my wife, she's a stay-at-home mom, and we homeschool our 2 daughters. And so what will probably end up happening is when we're in session, I'll have an opportunity to take them down with me, and they'll probably stay in a hotel room and do some schoolwork there. When I was homeschooled growing up, my dad, as a civil servant, he took a lot of business trips, whether it was Philadelphia, Fort Campbell, Kentucky, you name it. And so I spent quite a bit of time going through my schoolwork in hotel rooms for Dad's work too. So it'd give him a little bit of a taste of that life as well, I suppose.
Well, now, didn't your dad do something with Task Force 160th?
Yes, sir, he did.
Yeah, that's what I was. I'm very familiar with those guys, the Special Operations Aviation Regiment. So if he worked with those, that means one thing to me. He had to be top notch at whatever it was.
Oh, he absolutely was. And there was probably the proudest moment that I ever had as a son. I was going to a cycling event. And there were a couple of 160th guys who were standing together, and one of the gentlemen, he turned around and recognized me, and this was 10 years after I'd seen him, but he still remembered me, and he called all the other 160th guys, and he said, "Hey, I want you to meet this young man." He said his father is the best leader I think I ever worked with, and that included all the people that we worked with in the 160th. And so for me as a son to be able to hear that from a person that had that level of professionalism, boy, I'll tell you what, I could have walked across the clouds I was riding so high. It was incredible.
Oh, that is a pretty good testament to your father and also to the members of the task force. So one thing about back to being a representative, it's how do you strike the balance between representing your district, which is District 10, but also having to make votes that are for people on 70 miles east of the interstate that don't exactly enjoy the benefits we have here in Huntsville?
Absolutely. The reality is that politics is a team sport. Always has been, always will be. And so what you have to do is you have to have a good relationship with people down there so that you can have a good give and take. And it's just like any functional marriage. You have to be able to state your case, and sometimes you might have a little bit of a disagreement. You work it out, you resolve it, and then you move on. And the reality is in government it's no different. There are going to be times where the caucus is a little bit divided and split, and we have a lot of really good leaders down there, I'll say that, and I'm looking forward to working with them and making sure that we come up with good solutions, not just for the people of House District 10, but Madison County and the state of Alabama as well.
Well, speaking of issues that affect rural and also Huntsville and areas like that, let us talk about the wondrous things known as data centers.
Sure.
Data centers, for our listeners, that's kind of where AI and where the internet and where all that stuff comes from. And there are a lot of people who say, they're bad, they're evil, they take a lot of water, take a lot of power, don't provide a lot of benefits to the economy. But as Sam Gavon told me this, he and I were talking about it, and he said, and they're complaining to me about this over the very services that are provided through data centers. So
that is true.
How do you strike that balance? I'll tell you my opinion before we hear. I think you got to have it. It's just like, cable, steam engines, electricity, the internet, it's coming. So how do we make sure that we greet it with open arms and properly?
Yeah, so to start off with, when I'm knocking doors, first of all, people are focused on affordability. They're focused on infrastructure. They're focused on making sure that we have good education and education freedom here in the state of Alabama. That being said, data centers are something that comes up quite a bit, and I would say it's probably a top 5 topic right now. And most people are overwhelmingly opposed to it. The reality is nobody wants a data center next door to them, right?
Right.
And so there's a lot of research when it comes to zoning and infrastructure requirements and things like that have to be done. That being said, I can also say that I think everybody would probably agree that we don't want China to have all the data centers either.
Right.
And so what we really have to do is we have to do a little bit more research, and we have to make sure that the ideas that people have can actually translate to good policy. And that's one of the tricks when it comes to those. So, I can definitely understand both sides of that coin.
Well, what I have seen from those who I've observed in areas protesting data centers is they're not and I don't mean this derogatorily, they're not protesting from a position of an informed position. It's just emotional. Don't want one of those things. I don't like the way they look. So I hope that we have people such as you who can go down there and say, hey, these can be looked at as businesses. There's 3,000 of them in the country, and we can figure out how to do it. So The enemy is looking at me, not Brian, it's the clock. So let our listeners know why they should vote for you and how they can find out more about you and your campaign.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can Google Aaron Thomas, Alabama, and it'll come up. I'm now one of the top results. You can also go to Aaron Thomas for FORHD10. .com, Aaron Thomas for HD10.com. And the other thing that you can do is you can contact me directly through their website, and I really enjoy getting back in touch with people. But we've got a lot of good momentum, a lot of positive things happening. It's an exciting time to be in the race right now.
Well, hey, we really do thank you for taking some of that time to be with us today. And this is Aaron Thomas, candidate for Republican candidate for House District 10. And we're going to go ahead and let you go, and we'll come back and wrap the show up.
Sounds good, Bill. Thanks so much.
You're listening to The Point with Bill Crawford on Talk Radio WZZN.
Take it right to the edge with Donato's Pizza. That's right, with Donato's, they don't waste any space. And if you're going to put 100 slices of pepperoni on a pizza, you need to go edge to edge. And that provolone cheese is smoked and aged in Wisconsin. All of Donato's produce comes from right here in the Tennessee Valley as well. And Donato's is more than just pizza. Check out the subs, calzones, and wings as well. 2 locations in the Valley to serve you, in Madison on Madison Boulevard and in Huntsville on the South Parkway. Donato's Pizza.
This is Bill Crawford, host of The Point on Talk Radio WZZN. I recently had a stem cell procedure on my right knee from Dr. Charles Lee of Regenesis. Stem cells are harvested from your body and re-administered back into your body. This approach is painless, quick, and requires no lengthy rehab. My knee feels better already. Regenesis is located at 4025 Pepperwood Circle Southwest, Suite C, Huntsville, Alabama. Call 256-715-8193 or Google their website for more information.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Lynn Layton Automotive Group is a proud sponsor of high school sports in the Tennessee Valley. At Lynn Layton, we shoot you straight with no hidden dock fees just for doing your paperwork. These dock fees are often hidden in your purchase and can run as high as $700 or $800, but you won't see that at Lynn Layton. And Lynn Layton has all the major brands conveniently located in Decatur on and around the Beltline. Trust us, it's worth the short ride to get a great deal with Lynn Layton Automotive Group. Lynn Layton Automotive Group is a proud sponsor of high school sports in the Tennessee Valley. At Lynn Layton, we shoot you straight with no hidden dock fees just for doing your paperwork. These dock fees are often hidden in your purchase and can run as high as $700 or $800, but you won't see that at Lynn Layton. And Lynn Layton has all the major brands conveniently located in Decatur on and around the Beltline. Trust us, it's worth the short ride to get a great deal with Lynn Layton Automotive Group. Make Baumhauer's Victory Grill your big game headquarters all of the 2026 season. You'll see why Baumhauer's has been voted best wings in Alabama and the #1 sports-themed restaurant in the state. With over 70-plus jumbo flat-screen TVs and state-of-the-art audio systems in each Baumhauer's, you'll be guaranteed a true stadium experience that'll make you feel like you're at the game. Baumhauer's also has a great new big game headquarters menu to help kick off the season, featuring several fan favorites at great prices. How about an ice-cold beer with those wings? Yingling and Yingling Flight pitchers are only $7.99, with pints going for only $2.99.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Your home of the Rocket City Trash Pandas is Talk Radio WZZN.
And I'm still hoping, waiting, praying I did not die in vain.
Welcome back, everybody. On a hot Wednesday afternoon, it is time to wrap up this episode of The Point with Bill Crawford and also producer extraordinaire Brian Temple. We had Skip Vaughn on today with the Redstone Rocket, and also state representative candidate and entrepreneur, I guess would be a better term, Aaron Thomas, here from Huntsville, Alabama, running for House District 10. Tomorrow on our Thursday show, we will always start off with Seth Burton. Seth Burton, senatorial candidate and former nuclear sub-commander, is going to talk to us about how he's keeping his eyes on Washington. And we'll be closing out the show tomorrow with Bobby Bozeman of the North Alabama Food Bank and letting you know what they can do to help you out in this school year. What else is on tonight, Brian?
Trash Pandas are still in Knoxville tonight. We'll be on the air at 5:45. First pitch at 6 o'clock here on Talk Radio WZZN.
Okay. So stay tuned. Listen to some good Trash Panda baseball, and we'll let you go now. And remember, do whatever you can to keep our soldiers and all our servicemen in your thoughts and prayers, and be safe. Right?
And y'all look out for each other, won't you?
Okay, we're out of here.
Defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love